All right, guys, what's going on? Welcome in. So in this one, I wanted to talk about a little update with the whole Corey Davis situation. Right now, as we all know, last off season, everything was trending in the right direction. This was obviously before the Aaron Rodgers injury. We were in training camp. There was so much hype. We had Hard Knocks, One Jets Drive. Media was talking about the Jets literally every single day for hours on end. And then out of left field, Corey Davis just retires. And it was kind of just, it caught me at least off guard. I can only speak for myself. I was shocked, right? He's in the prime of his career. He's in the middle of a 3-year contract that he signed with the Jets where he's getting paid a decent amount, $10+ million per season. It's not like he's 37 years old or is, coming off of some sort of horrific injury and he's just not really feeling capable enough coming back from the injury. It's not like it was his first year with the Jets. Obviously, he was with the team the year prior. And there was a lot of speculation on why Davis stepped away from football. And that was pretty much the end of it until this offseason where we got word that Corey Davis actually is coming out of retirement and could actually play in the NFL. He got reinstated. And then the Jets went ahead and released him, granting Davis his wish. And a lot of people are speculating on when Corey Davis is going to, sign. Who is he going to sign with? Why did he step away in the first place? All these different questions, right? And as we stand currently, a return to the Jets just feels unlikely at this point. You kind of feel like if it was going to get done, it would have happened already. Also, why would the Jets go out and just release him, for him to wait a couple months, test the waters, and then to just come back to the Jets? Just a strange situation to say the least. But Connor Hughes was doing a Q&A on Twitter, and then quick shout out to Stefan Signa96 on Twitter. He has the great question: any info on a possible Corey Davis return? Connor Hughes said the last thing that he's heard was that he didn't want to, assuming he didn't want to come to the Jets as long as Allen Lazard was still here. He goes on to say that makes sense. They play the same position the same way. And that was kind of confusing at the time, right? You understood the Lazard acquisition because Rodgers wanted his guys, and it just seemed like Joe Douglas was just completely selling out to the Green Bay Packer culture, right? They wanted a bunch of former Packer players. They obviously bring in Nathaniel Hackett to help try to lure Rodgers to the team, which ultimately worked. But none of the other players, literally none of the other players that the Jets brought in worked. Randall Cobb, Adrian Amos, Tim Boyle, Billy Turner, Allen Lazard, we could throw him in there as well. You can also, argue that Nathaniel Hackett has not worked out up to this point. That's actually a fact. Could that change this year? 100%. But as we stand right now, there was a lot of swing and misses with this whole Green Bay Packer, get these former Packers in the building. But looking at the latest Corey Davis rumblings and rumors, supposedly he wants to return to Tennessee, the team that drafted him. Supposedly Corey Davis lives there as well. And, you're looking at the Tennessee Titans. It's an exciting group. They already have a bunch of really good wide receivers, though. DeAndre Hopkins, they just brought in Calvin Ridley on a 4-year huge deal worth over $90 million. But they have a new head coach, offensive mind, somebody who's done a good job at developing wide receivers as well. Traylon Burks on the roster hasn't worked out up to this point, but Tyler Boyd in the slot, another solid acquisition. I could understand Corey Davis wanting to go to Tennessee. I could see the allure there for sure. I would probably say, with a year missed, he would probably be the 4th or 5th best wide receiver on that Titans roster, probably number 4. But in regards to him wanting to rejoin the Jets or not wanting to rejoin the Jets because of Allen Lazard, again, assuming that this is true here, this Lazard situation, this contract has been an absolute disaster. It is just, I hate to be blunt. I don't want to be rude here. But if you're talking about a 4-year contract worth $44 million, which at the time was considered an overpay, and he's a healthy scratch, or was a healthy scratch multiple weeks getting benched for undrafted free agents, that is really concerning, right? You can talk about the struggles this year so far through voluntary OTAs and minicamp, we've had multiple reporters suggest that Allen Lazard he's on the bubble, right? Because he still is not, his stock is down. He's still not growing, developing in any sort of way. The production just simply is not there. Maybe that changes during training camp. But at this point right now, the contract, the signing, it's just been just an F, right? Just an F across the board. Just so disappointing. Because I was pumped up when the Jets brought in Lazard. Because he had size, he had a nice catch radius. I loved him back at Iowa State. Obviously, he had the connection with Rodgers. You would assume that he has a good understanding of the offensive scheme with Hackett. He was a good blocker at the wide receiver position, too. He was a big play machine. He wasn't perfect. He wasn't a top 20 receiver, had a drop problem, but I don't think anybody saw this coming, right? Hughes actually goes on to answer another question regarding Lazard. Shout out to Ring S. He asked, what are the Jets planning to do with Allen Lazard? Connor Hughes says, I think he's going to end up being inactive on game days. So frankly, we have a guy who is, taking up a roster spot at a position that the Jets aren't really the deepest at, which is pretty concerning. He's in the second year of a 4-year deal handed out by JD. He's owed a lot of money. The Jets are just essentially, nothing is set in stone right now, but it's looking like all signs are pointing that the Jets are just going to keep him because he's owed the money. And that roster spot could go to, in the event that the Jets cut Lazard or he wasn't owed any guaranteed money, that roster spot could have been given to maybe an extra running back or something like that, or the Jets could have brought in, a different wide receiver. And assuming what Hughes said was correct, he is now a deterrent to other free agents out in the open market, including Corey Davis, who does not want to sign with the Jets because Lazard is here, taking his position, if you will. It's a problem, right? It's a problem. It's just been an absolutely horrible signing. I mean, Saleh even let it slip midway through 2023, where he said, oh yeah, Lazard, he's going to be here for the next year and a half, which was saying, yeah, he's going to be released once the guaranteed money is up. So I'm not sure really what to make of the Davis situation. I don't know when or if he is going to sign with a team, but I do know this. Lazard, it just seems like everything is just on thin ice. If I'm the New York Jets, and Lazard's owed the money anyway, and he's just not bringing any value to the offense, any value to special teams, I would part ways with them and just, take the loss, take the just continue to add on to the dead money that the Jets are already owed. We're already top 3 in dead money in the NFL. I mean, if you can go out and give that roster spot in a win now year to a player that you actually feel like can help in at least some sort of way, whether that's offense, defense, special teams, whether it's a backup player, maybe you can give that job or that roster opening to a guy like Eric Watts or something. Right, a young, unproven guy who is really showing signs of life, signs of growth and development in camp. Now you would have an extra roster spot to give a guy like that. So we'll see how it plays out. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section about Corey Davis, about Allen Lazard, the contract. What do you think the Jets should do? Would you keep Lazard even though he's just not performing at all, but because of the contract you're paying him anyway? Or would you maybe make a statement and send a message to the locker room saying, hey, nobody is above the team here. Just because, X player is getting X amount of dollars, it doesn't mean that it's just a free ride. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts, and as always, go Jets.